Hello, welcome to Growland. Today we're gonna learn some words in GRE related to something unusual or different. If you didn't watch the previous video, you're welcome to watch it first and then continue learning about something strange or unusual or maybe abnormal in this video. Let's get started. The first one is aberrant. Repeat, aberrant. It's an adjective. Aberrant means different from what is normal, expected, or typical. Or, easier to say, something abnormal. For example, his aberrant behavior worried his friends. You see, he has some friends. He has a kind of behavior, I can say some ordinary behavior, but out of a sudden, his behavior changed. Now his friends notice the difference in his behavior. So we can say his aberrant behavior worried his friends. The disease causes aberrant cell growth. We have some cell growth, of course, in our body, but when the cell growth is aberrant, maybe it is considered as something dangerous or harmful, especially when it's kind of a disease. So, some cells grew in an abnormal way. Anomalous. Anomalous is an adjective. Anomalous means deviating from what is standard, normal, or expected. Or, easier to say, unusual. For example, the researchers noticed an anomalous pattern in the data. So, as we considered, there was a pattern, we can say stable pattern, continuous pattern, but suddenly researchers noticed a special part that was not like the others. So they say, uh-oh, this part shows an anomalous pattern. This year's weather has been highly anomalous. The weather was not that different as this year. So we can say anomalous, and before an adjective, we can add an adverb. Highly anomalous shows the adjective was so intense. Desperate. Repeat, desperate. It's an adjective. Desperate means fundamentally different, distinct in kind, not able to compare directly. For example, it is difficult to combine such desperate ideas into one theory. You see, we have many different ideas, but you want to have a combination of those. So it's better to, choose and select some similar ideas to combine. But when you choose desperate ones, when you select desperate ideas and you decide to merge them into one theory, of course, it is something challenging or maybe impossible. The book connects two seemingly desperate topics. You can see here again, there is a book, and the book is a kind of bridge, we can say, a kind of connection between two different ideas. Incongruity. Repeat, incongruity. It's a noun. Let's see the meaning. The state of being inconsistent, inappropriate, or not in harmony with something else. So you see, there is a harmony, there is a pattern, but something is, I can say, not only different, but it is something inappropriate. It is not suitable for that pattern, for that arrangement. So when we see the state, the situation, we can say there is an incongruity. For example, there was an incongruity between his words and his actions. You see, he says something, but he acts something else. of course, there is a big gap, there is a big distance, or we can say there is an incongruity. The second one, the incongruity of wearing a tuxedo to the beach made everyone laugh. So you imagine you put on a tuxedo and you go to the beach. How hilarious it would be, you know? So I can say this is the best example you can imagine, and you can make some pictures, some funny pictures about incongruity. And when you see the word, you imagine yourself with a tuxedo at the beach and you're enjoying and drinking some orange juice. Of course, it is not something suitable. Let's go to the next one. Heterodox. Repeat. Heterodox. It's an adjective. Heterodox means holding opinions or beliefs that differ from expected or traditional view. Let's see the examples to understand them better. The professor is known for his heterodox economic theories. The professor has some theories, but not normal or ordinary theories. The author presents a heterodox interpretation of history. For example, some people read history to learn something, to know about the past, the previous time, or a long time ago, but they say, oh, the book shows or presents a heterodox view. Now, the last part of this episode is reminding or remembering the words just by watching the pictures. Let's get started from the first one. Aberrant. Anomalous. Desperate. Incongruity. Heterodox. Thank you so much for learning today. Plant a word, grow a mind. If you enjoy learning and using some practical words, or it's better to say advanced words in English, you're welcome to Growland, and please subscribe and like this video. See you in the next lesson.